So before we start the video, I'd like to ask you guys to please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, as it helps the channel grow. So, let's get into it. Alright, so week 12 of the NFL season is coming up, and for the Chicago Bears, they will be taking on the Minnesota Vikings on Monday Night Football. In this video, as always, I'm going to give y'all my 3 keys to the game that I think the Bears should do to be able to win this game. So, without further ado, let's get into it. What's up, guys? KT here, back at it with another video. Today, we're doing the Bears. I hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving yesterday, as this video is coming out a little bit later, but, you know, I was just hanging out with some family for Thanksgiving. So I hope you guys enjoyed yours, sat down, hung out with your family, enjoyed some good food, you know, watch football, do whatever y'all do on Thanksgiving. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'd like to say thank you for all you guys that still support this channel, as we've seen a lot of growth in the past year. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving. So let's get straight into the video. Point number 1, as always, the Bears got to get pressure on Josh Dobbs. Josh Dobbs has played well for the Minnesota Vikings after coming over from the Arizona Cardinals. Josh Dobbs has been good. You know, started some games for Kyler Murray in Arizona. Actually won them a game in Arizona before getting traded mid-season to the Minnesota Vikings. And picking up, 2 wins on the season for the Minnesota Vikings after not practicing much. In fact, he got thrown into a game, I think it was against the Raiders or something like that. He got thrown into the game on limited snaps, you know, limited practice time, and he actually won them that game. Josh Dobbs has been a great story for the NFL and has been a great story for many, as he is a very smart guy. He's a rocket scientist. He also knows how to fly and pilot airplanes. So, especially, you know, military warplanes. So, you know, fighter jets, stuff like that. You know, he's a smart guy, and he knows how. He's very smart on the football field as well. Take care of the ball, you know, spreads the ball around. Very good pocket passer, has a little bit of mobility. So the Bears are gonna have to be on their P's and Q's, especially that pass rush. They did a very good job last week against the Detroit Lions. You know, they were able to get 2 sacks on the Detroit Lions and on Jared Goff. You know, with the addition of Montez Sweat, I felt like the pocket has been breaking down for opposing quarterbacks as of recently. The Bears were able to get 2 sacks last week, and able to get consistent pressure on Jared Goff to make him make those mistakes. You know, they were able to get 4 turnovers on Jared Goff last week. So yeah, getting pressure on the quarterback. I'd like to see the Bears get at least, you know, 2 sacks on the day. You know, if you're not able to get home with 4, as always, you're going to have to send the blitz. You know, I feel like they've been very creative with some of their blitzes as well. Jack Sanborn was able to get a sack last week after coming off the edge, after a stunt blitz. So, you know, you're going to have to get some pressure on Josh Dobbs, as he can, you know, pick you apart. Don't know if Justin Jefferson is going to be playing. He kind of came out and said, you know, he's feeling good with this hamstring, but he doesn't really know where he's going yet with this. So we don't know if he's going to be playing on Monday or not. But just, you're going to have to prepare like he is. So, you know, this offense does have a lot of good weapons. TJ Hawkinson, Jordan Addison, you know, KJ Osborne, and very good running backs as well. So, you know, get some sacks on Josh Dobbs, make him uncomfortable, and make him make those bad decisions, or make him throw in a tight coverage, and you should have a good chance to win this game. Point number 2, the Bears are going to have to deal with the blitz of the Minnesota Vikings. The first matchup was terrible for the offensive line and for the Bears in general. That was the game Justin Fields got hurt in. And Brian Flores, he's been very, very good with disguising blitzes, dialing up specific blitzes, dropping guys back into coverage while faking the blitz. You know, Brian Flores is one of the best defensive minds in football right now. They blitz more than any other team, I think, and it works. You know, we saw the matchup against Brock Purdy. We saw the matchup against Justin Fields. You know, they're able to make things difficult for opposing quarterbacks, and that's because they put all these guys at the line, and you don't know whether they're all going to come towards the quarterback, or are they going to drop back into coverage. That's the wild card that they have there in Minnesota to make up for, you know, not having the best secondary in the world. They play hard for Brian Flores, and I thought that first matchup against the Bears offensive line was not prepared for all the blitzes that they were going to send it their way. So in this game, you're going to have to be on your P's and Q's as well. The offensive line is going to have to communicate. You know, Justin Fields is going to have to get rid of the ball quicker, and that comes from calling quicker plays as well, getting some slant routes, you know, some quick in routes. You know, there's going to have to be some variety, some drag routes. There's going to have to be some variety, and it's going to have to be over the middle of the field. You cannot let Justin Fields sit back there and hold the ball forever. You're going to have to get him out the pocket, use his legs to your advantage. I feel like the Bears are going to have to run the ball a little bit better as well, especially with their running backs, and not have to rely on Fields to run as much. But they're going to have to use everything at their disposal and not let Justin Fields sit back there, as I thought the recipe for disaster was for him to sit back there in that first matchup. So, get Justin Fields out the pocket. The offensive line and the backs are going to have to communicate on how to pick up some of these blitzes. Justin Fields is going to have to recognize the coverages, where he needs to go with the ball. Luke Getsy is going to have to drop some quicker plays, as you're not going to have time to dial up these old long, elaborate plays that may or may not get open. They're going to have to be creative with their play calling, and they're going to have to find a way to pick up that blitz for the Minnesota Vikings. And if they're not sending the blitz, they're going to have to find a way to protect the quarterback as well. Thought they did a good job of that last week against the Detroit Lions, but you're going to have to need more. You're going to need more of that, especially going up against a more blitz-heavy team like the Minnesota Vikings. So point number 2 is deal with that blitz for the Minnesota Vikings and get consistent offense going. Point number 3, I would think being consistent on both ends of the ball. Now, last week the Bears collapsed epically against the Detroit Lions. The defense gave up a 2-score lead in under 2 minutes, and that's just bad situational defense. We saw it early in that game when the Lions went and got points before the half, but 2 minutes and you're up 2 scores, and the Detroit Lions go right back down the field and score. They get the ball back, they score again. That's unacceptable from your defensive side, from all the way from your coordinators to your players. That's unacceptable. You can't have busted coverages. You can't, not get pressure on the quarterback in those situations. You got to be able to tackle guys in bounds. You're going to have to, stick to your man in coverages. And for the offense, I felt like a lot of times when the defense did get turnovers, I felt like they didn't capitalize fully on them. Instead of field goals, you need to turn those into touchdowns. They did everything else very well for 3 quarters of that game. They did everything very well for 3 quarters, except when it came to the 4th quarter, guys started getting, lackadaisical with their effort. The play calling got very, very timid and conservative. So the Bears are going to have to put together a consistent performance. Luckily, on the offensive end, Justin Fields has his best performances on Monday Night Football. For the defense, I feel like they've been playing very well. It's just the minor things that they need to clean up to be able to win games. There should be a healthy dose of DJ Moore. I felt like they kind of went away from him as well, especially in that 4th quarter. So, being consistent on both offense and defense, when you get into those situational defensive possessions, you can't let guys go down the field in the span of a minute. You got to be able to get off the field on 3rd down. You're going to have to tackle guys inbounds in those situations. And for the offense, you're going to have to capitalize off turnovers with some type of points, even if it's field goals, but preferably touchdowns. Take advantage of good field position and get the ball into the hands of your best players, and you have a very good chance of winning this game. But at the end of the day, I do have the Minnesota Vikings winning a tight one. I have them winning 27-24. The Vikings have been playing very well. I know they lost that game against the Denver Broncos on Sunday Night Football, but that was a very good game. Josh Dobbs, he came in and completely changed, the culture of that team. The way they play is a little bit different. I feel like he's actually done a little bit better than Kirk Cousins. Take my word with a grain of salt. And with Justin Jefferson maybe coming back next week, maybe not. But when they do eventually get him back, they're going to be good. As for the Bears, the Bears, they still have Justin Fields. DJ Moore is a couple hundred yards away from hitting 1,000. The rushing game is still good. I feel like the Bears will start off strong early. They're going to get the defense. The defense is going to get Minnesota off the field early. The offense is going to go down and score. Justin Fields is going to have one of his signature games. But at the end of the day, I do think the Minnesota Vikings, when it comes down to it, and that 2-minute drill where the Bears defense is going to have to hold them to under, 3 points, or hold them to not getting any points on a drive, game-winning drive. I feel like the Minnesota Vikings will be able to drive the length of the field and at least get a field goal to win. But I do think it will be a tough contested game, but I do have the Minnesota Vikings winning 27-24 on Monday Night Football. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Who do you have winning this game? Do you have the Bears or do you have the Vikings? Let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and liking the videos. That helps the channel grow. Hit that notification bell so you get notified every time I drop one of these Bears videos. As always, follow me on social media, as there's bound to be news coming out about the Bears game before the game this week. And as always, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving. Bear down, and I'm out. Peace.